Golden Internet, MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today we got not a 12-year-old reaction, as I have watched this video because I wasn't really sure how I was going to approach this video to begin with, because there's a lot of information to take in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at the video called Lore in Season 2021 that was uploaded by the Indie Legends of Runeterra channel today. So you guys want to check it out, I will be leaving a link in the description down below. Very big news for those of you who are interested in the game. I would like to believe a good portion of you who watch my channel, since I basically post videos on Legends of Runeterra on a daily basis, and there's a lot of heavy implications from some of these announcements, and like I said, a lot to talk about. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna ride along. I'm gonna click play, and I'm gonna be commenting on, you know, the key things. Try not to dwell too much on each, part, because there is, like I said, a lot to cover, and I don't want to make this video too long. So without further ado, let's just get into it. By the way, I got a new setup here in case you guys see like my cam is a bit different. It's the same webcam, but I have 3 monitors now. So yeah, go Christmas. So hopefully that doesn't make much of an I don't think you guys can notice much in that regard, but yeah, I like having 3 monitors. Just wanted to put that out. All right, let's do this. Rip Arrow the Tracker. Buffer, Jesus Christ.
Hi, I'm Jeff Q, executive producer for Legends of Runeterra,
Jeff.
and I'm here to talk to you about our plans for 2021.
So this video is basically kind of like a roadmap for what they intend to do on 2021. Don't worry, I'm not going to pause every second and make you watch this video even longer. Like, I'm actually going to skip through a lot of parts and get straight to what I have to say. Again, if you want to watch the video on your own, then the link will be in the description down below and you can check that out. But here he's just talking about, what's in store. They gets a little bit emotional, I guess. He says it, but I don't see him crying particularly. But they're happy with how Runeterra is doing. Basically, they've come a long way, which is true, and there's a lot of momentum to capitalize on for this year. And if you are into this game, then it is definitely a very exciting time, because there's a lot of very key announcements here, including champions. But
first,
he just goes over here. Let's look at this first.
And added new features like rotating game modes and in-game tournaments.
In-game
and
tournaments.
The good news is we're just getting started. In 2021,
this is very excited. Like the in-game tournaments aspect has not been perfectly executed by any means. There's been a lot of feedback from the competitive community of Legends of Runeterra. The tryhards, those guys who are at the very top of the ladder consistently and competing in as many tournaments as they can, most of them community-based. The general consensus is that the format of single elimination Swiss to qualify for the top 32 basically leads to a high variance, environment that is very punishing for players who want to dedicate themselves competitively to this game. And I definitely agree. I think they should make it a double elimination Swiss with a smaller player base, like focusing more on, the top maybe 500 or 250 of the Masters ranked ladder, something like that. I don't know. There's been a lot of discussion regarding that. We do know that for the next seasonal tournament, nothing will change. But for the next one, they will take all this feedback into consideration, and we're just going to have to wait and see exactly how they opt to implement these things. I have like a cable here. I'm sorry about that. It's like kind of like in the way. Yeah, that's probably better. Don't want to like... Hopefully my mic is still working. So yeah, just wanted to clarify a little bit, because there's a lot of questions regarding the competitive scene. There's not many announcements regarding that. If you're purely interested in competitive Runeterra, this is not the most exciting video for you, because as of now, they're not really saying anything. This is more on regarding game content, and basically that, game content, expansions and all that, which I love the competitive scene of Runeterra. I'm a competitor myself, and I love to cast tournaments and all that good stuff. But I'm more excited about like actual content and cards and design and all that stuff. That's what really gets me going. So yeah, let's hear a little bit about that.
We're focusing on leveling up our approach to champions and bringing more social features to Legends of Runeterra, while introducing new regions to the game.
Alright, so this is nothing new in that sense. The next region is gonna be Shurima, baby! This is looking like Shurima.
From the deep seas of Bilgewater to the summits of Targon, We've explored a lot of Runeterra so far. Up next, we're traveling to the magnificent ancient land of Shurima.
Now, Shurima, let's leave a better image. Shurima is actually the region that I wanted to see instead of Targon. Like, I didn't really have anything against Targon. I just found the Targon lore and, basically the Targon lore, I found it somewhat boring. I thought Shurima and Bilgewater were overall way more interesting regions. Also, like the Void as well. I've been diving into the lore. I've always been a big fan of like writing and lore in general, not only in games but beyond that, right? But that's something that's very important to me, right? Even though one would think that I focus mainly on just competitive card gaming and stuff, like lore is a very, very important aspect to me. And Shurima is a region that I was very intrigued by. I think it has a lot of flavor going on for it that could lead to some very interesting card design. Targon was overall more limited, and ultimately I'm not surprised with how it ended. It ended up becoming the kind of like combat trick, sort of like cheap spell region, with card generations through invoke and such. Like, there's no secret that Targon is not my favorite of the regions introduced in the game. I really think the likes of Bilgewater is significantly more interesting and better designed, but I never was that excited for Targon to begin with. So I'm very, very, very hyped for this new region, and I just cannot wait to see what they can come up with, as I think there's just... Honestly, it's just how willing they are to, mess around and try out new things. And I think Riot is very hungry in that regard, as we have seen with their card design. And I just can't wait for Shurima, man. I'm super hyped.
To desert nomads who travel the sand above. This is
we got a
Shurima
lot
like
of...
you've never seen it before.
I just really, really like this thematic.
Bold new future. But we're not just here to geek out over the...
Let's go through here.
Shurima will add some really cool new mechanics to the game. From seeking buried relics,
which means it could be similar somewhat to like Riven's Reforge, in the sense that you are, creating cheap spells that would potentially create other spells in the future or unlock other stuff. There's a lot of ways you can design this concept, or around this concept.
To predicting the future, or
predicting the future. That makes you think that certain cards can generate other cards later down the line. There's a lot of like these little things that there's a lot of potential.
Godlike power of the Ascended.
I don't know what to make
Shurima's
of that.
power is available to those who are resourceful enough to thrive.
Of course.
But be warned, the sands do not forgive.
The wealthy Poro?
We'll be sharing more
go
about
with wealthy
Shurima
Poro.
and when you can wander its dunes early in the year.
And this is very important.
As part of this year's goal to focus more on champions, we're looking for new ways to get you more champions more often, even outside of our bi-monthly expansion releases.
I love
that.
The
first of these champion releases is right around the corner, featuring everyone's favorite sad moon boy. That's right, APHELIOS is coming to lore next month. APHELIOS is a gun-swapping Lunari who's kind of that strong, silent type. Sort of like my usual co-host who's just not here right now. Has anyone seen him?
They always have to go with
when you summon APHELIOS, you'll choose which weapon.
Let's not discourage them.
Use first. But to really.
Okay, I wanted to let my boy Jeff here finish his little speech before I, jumped in on APHELIOS. APHELIOS makes me feel all sorts of things inside, and most of them are extremely positive. APHELIOS is extremely exciting as a card. It is perhaps the most complex champion that we have seen to date in Legends of Runeterra by quite a lot. Like, if I compare APHELIOS to like Leona from Targon, it's kind of ridiculous. Like, the layers of this champion is just... I've been looking into it, and apparently APHELIOS is like known for being a very convoluted champion in League of Legends. If that's the case, then this is absolutely brilliant. And I also do know that, thanks to Twitter, that Steve Rubin, who is the lead balance guy, so the live balance team, he's the lead there. He's actually he was a lead in the actual design of this champion as well. And because you guys don't know, Steve Rubin is a decorated Magic the Gathering Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's a Hall of Famer, actually. I know that he's a competitor. He's a very, very successful competitor. He's won multiple Grand Prix, amongst other things. Like, I don't even know what his exact credentials are, but they are most definitely very impressive. He's been playing card games for a very, very long time, and he's one of the most knowledgeable people out there regarding the genre. So him designing a champion is something that I'm very excited about, and is a big deal that I think a lot of people have not really mentioned, because, I mean, this tweet was very recent, so I'm happy I took a few minutes before recording this, because this is a very big deal, right? And I can already see, you know, that this champion was designed by this man. I mean, I'm not sure if he was the only, like, I'm pretty sure it was multiple people, right? But this is a very, very cool craft. So basically, APHELIOS is a 3-mana 3/3, right? It's got the vanilla stat line, you know, for a 3-drop. I mean, the vanilla stat line really is a 3/4, you know, a Lojo Badger Bear, but it's close to that. And it has a very intriguing ability. As you guys can see, we see all of these different 2-mana slow speed spells, which are his, like, moon weapons. I think they're called. I'm not sure, but we're going to see his text really soon. There we go. Damn it. I need to be more precise. Perfect. So, APHELIOS there, edgy boy, has a Nightfall effect that says, pick a moon weapon. When I've seen you play 2 other cards in a round, create a moon weapon in hand if you don't have one. And it says 0 out of 2. So 0 out of 2 is the counter that says, like, when you play 2 other cards besides APHELIOS, you will be able to create a weapon hand, right? You've cast 4 or more moon weapons is his level up requirement. But before we get onto the level up requirement, let's talk about these moon weapons. There's a lot of talk about APHELIOS. It's mostly going to be an APHELIOS video, man, because this champion is just
arsenal to use for
is just kind of ridiculous, right? Like, there's so much to talk about in that sense. We got Infernum, Calibrum, Gravitum, Severum, and Crescendum. Infernum says grant an ally overwhelm and +2/+1 grant. Emphasis on grant. And then it says phase, Crescendum, or Calibrum. So this one right here, the 5th one, or the 2nd one. So one of these things, like, not only are you choosing, like, the reason why this is not just another champion that gives you, like, he's not just an invoke champion with, like, 5 different options. That's not why APHELIOS is the most complex champion in the game. It goes way beyond that. As you guys can see, this phase means that, or at least I interpret it this way, is that when you go for example, Infernum, you know that you will be phasing either Crescendum, so you'll be having access to Crescendum or Calibrum. I'm not sure what phase means. Phase may mean so that the next moon weapon that APHELIOS creates is one of those 2, or you can choose between those 2, something like that, right? Basically, it's making it so that when you choose one weapon, you also have to think ahead and be like, what other moon weapon will I need in this particular matchup at this state of the game? And that's gonna, if this champion is competitive, he will lead to some amazing mind games and decision making and high level Runeterra that I cannot wait to witness and potentially even pilot myself. Like, I'm very, very excited for this card, just because of the fact that it forces you, like, it really, really tests your sequencing skills, which is something that a lot of decks in Legends of Runeterra don't do. There's a lot of decks out there that, honestly, anybody can play them. Like, they're very easy to play. But this kind of, like, champion design, first of all, I'm very excited to see just how it melds in with the rest of the card pool, and I want to see more of it. I want this to be successful, and I want to see more design like this so that we can have more of a gap that really rewards the more competitive Runeterra players. That's just my take, and I just, you know, super excited about this. Let's talk about the moon weapons. We saw Infernum. We got Calibrum, which deals 3 to a follower for 2 mana. That's pretty neat. It can't hit a champion, though. Very important to note. We got Gravitum, which stuns an enemy, and if it's a follower, you stun it again at the next round start. And we see some Yasuo synergy being implied with that. We got Severum, which is perhaps one of the most scary ones, as it grants an ally lifesteal and +1/+1 for 2 mana. Like, this can be really, really dangerous on the right unit. Like, we see cards like, you know, Radiant Guardian just steal away games, right? And this card just gives that, not only the lifesteal, but a +1/+1 stat boost. There's so many units that are just so scary with lifesteal. and I feel like this can be one of the most nasty ones. And then Crescendum says, summon a 2-cost follower from your deck. If it has Nightfall, trigger it. Very interesting. I would have to look at the pool, but you can make it so that you run a very specific amount of 2-drops, and so that when you go for Crescendum, you 100% are able to tutor the 2-drop that you want. This can give your deck a new layer of or an extra layer of complexity. And I'm just stuttering all over the place because I am just very clearly super hyped about this damn card and all these cards, really. So let's hear Jeff talk a little bit about it. But it's basically going to be what I said, more or less, just the fact that you have to keep in mind the sequencing, and you have to know when you choose one of these weapons, you got to think a few turns ahead and see if one of these options that you're facing is going to be ultimately relevant.
But to really utilize Aphelios to his full potential, you should also be thinking about which weapon you'll need several rounds.
We see his signature spell is this lady right here.
The strategy will become more complex
we don't know more
as
about
you
that
play
card.
more moon weapons alongside the brand new Targon cards. Confused? Don't worry, a loon will guide you. But our focus on champions doesn't end with Aphelios. We're also keeping champions in mind in almost all of the new features we're developing. The first of which may look pretty familiar to some of you. Champion Mastery is coming to Legends of Runeterra. As you play games with each champion, you'll level up your Champion Mastery, getting new cosmetic flair for your collection. Paying off your debt.
I think this is great. I don't know if this is a thing in League of Legends already, because he did mention something that some of you would see this coming, or would be basically he's implying that people have seen something like this before. So I assume that in League of Legends there is some sort of progression system for each champion, and it's nice to see that being introduced onto Runeterra. The more cosmetics they're able to produce and incorporate onto the game, the more ability they will have to generate revenue, which will allow them to pour more money into the game and thus give us more options. So I always welcome cosmetics. I don't think there's ever too many cosmetics. And I love their, financial model, and I am one of those whales that will buy the majority of the cosmetics and contribute in that regard. But this also allows a lot of people to be able to play the game for free, which is one of the key things about Riot games in general, right? So I really, am a fan of this mastery progression, and I think the more they do things like these, the better, and there's nothing really negative about it. So let's move on to some more important shit, as we see that there's going to be ways to enhance your champions aesthetically and stuff like that, which is really neat. And this is very, very important. Playing with friends. Now, this is something that really caught me off guard.
Last year, we focused a lot on competitive play with ranked, gauntlets, and seasonal tournaments. We're continuing to invest in competition this year, and I'm happy to announce that our next seasonal tournament will be happening at the end of February. But we believe we have an opportunity to make Legends of Runeterra a game that's fun to play with friends too.
Yeah.
We miss the days of meeting up for late night games and making fun of each other for some really interesting plays. So I'm excited to share that our first cooperative lab is coming this week on January 13th. In this unique game mode, the Noxian army is advancing, and the only way to take them down is through the power of friendship. Work alongside your allies with decks that are built for teamwork. Darius is about to hit the Noxian guillotine. Don't worry, your buddies got your back. The forces of Noxus grow stronger each turn, so plan your path to victory before you're completely overrun. This is just our first foray into the world of cooperative modes, and we're looking forward to seeing what you think. Your feedback will help shape the sorts of labs we explore in the future, and you can expect to see more social features this year.
Very, very, very interesting. Co-op plays, that's something... we don't see that too much in card games at all. It's very, very exciting. And I'm more of I'm not the most multiplayer, okay, so I play multiplayer games, but I play multiplayer games that I play on my own, right? I don't do co-op too much. This is not for me. It's more so for other people. But that doesn't mean I'm not excited about it, because I think anything like this will just help the game grow. It'll help expand its appeal, because not everybody likes to play card games to try hard and prove to everybody that you're smarter than most people. Most people who play this game just like to play it on the toilet while taking a shit. And it's really nice if you can do that with other people. Now, you can go to the bathroom, you can take a shit, and your friend can also be taking a shit, and you can together, you know, fight against the Empire of Noxus as you defecate. It's fantastic. I am all for, yeah, defecation and gameplay, and I think this is a great step forward. So, awesome. What the fuck am I saying?
Finally,
all right, one more
we had
thing.
a
Let's
blast
see.
working with the League team on Spirit Blossom, and we're excited to partner with them again. But they would ruin me if I said anything else. Like seriously, I don't even think I'd be missed. Well, that about wraps things up for me.
All right.
Legends of Runeterra has already come so far since I first spoke to you last year, and the whole team is looking forward to doing even more for you in 2021. Thanks for watching.
Nice. There is a roadmap like graphic as well. I have looked into it. It's on Twitter as well. You know, with more details as to like when exactly the expansions are coming and everything. But one of the most important things to take from this is that we're getting champions outside of expansions, which just simply means we're getting more cards regularly, which is always a good thing. There is a bit of an argument of like, you know, them introducing too many champions onto the game and us having issues with power creep and, you know, because ultimately at a certain point, every card game needs to go under rotation. And when that will be necessary for Runeterra, time will tell. I don't think we're close to that point, though. I think we still have a lot more space available for the game to still be fine, and us having just more options. More champions means more options when deck building. APHELIOS is a champion that I feel, not only because of his complexity, but also because of the way it's designed, it can synergize with many of the cards that have been introduced lately. Like, it is creating cards, so it synergizes with Victor. It's giving you spells, so it can work with Lee Sin. It can work with Nightfall mechanics, and there's probably many other, like a bazillion combinations with that champion, honestly, that I'm not even aware of as of right now. But definitely super excited for it. Like, APHELIOS, a fantastic reveal. Definitely a bit of an underwhelming announcement for those of you who are more, you know, into the competitive aspect of Runeterra, though I do think that Riot will definitely step it up in the future. And ultimately, just really good video with a lot of very valuable information. And it's good to know that ultimately we are getting more cards. Shurima is coming, which I am extremely excited for. And that's basically all there is to it. Also, co-op gameplay is also something that's going to be very neat to the game. And more aesthetics, you know, progression systems, all that stuff. So, yeah, it seems like 2021 is going to be a pretty intense year for, you know, Riot as a whole and for Runeterra for us. And I can't wait. So that's basically all I got to say. I kept this under 25 minutes. Go me. God damn. I thought I could have done it like in 12, really. I can't pat myself in the back too much. I did okay, I guess. But thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. Let me know what you think of the roadmap. Are you a competitive player? Are you a toilet player? Let me know in the comment section down below, and let me know what you are most excited for with these announcements as well. And that's where I'll leave it at. That's all day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.